All right, guys. So today's project, I'm going to be replacing the AC compressor in my Lamborghini LP560. This compressor, failed quite some time ago, and I figured, now I have a little bit of time, I can try to squeeze this in between other projects. So basically, what happened is one day I was driving it, and then I heard a little bit of a racket, some kind of noise coming from the rear engine compartment. All the gauges looked good, oil pressure, and so on and so forth. And then I kind of figured it might be the AC compressor, so started turning it on and off from the interior with a button, and I noticed that the tone would change. So kind of thought that was probably it. So anyway, put it on the four post lift here, lifted it up, and kind of videotaped the noise, and it seems like it definitely is coming from the compressor. So I filmed that, and I'll show you that in a little bit what it sounds like. So let me give you a little bit of a brief history of this car. The previous owner of this car, I actually talked to him not too long ago. Super nice guy. He had the compressor failed on him also, and basically what he did, I guess, when he took it to either a Lamborghini dealership or a shop that works on exotics somewhere where he lived at, and basically they told him that it was going to be $7,000 to replace the AC compressor because the engine needed to be removed to do it because it was so tight. So after getting under there and videotaping the noise and everything, it does look really tight in there. You have like an oil pump slash water pump unit that's basically under it, so it's covering it up, and it looks like it's pretty hard to get out. So anyway, the previous owner decided, he goes, you know what, I'll just drive it the way it is right now, and I'll just do it later when I decide to trade the car in. So basically, that's what he did. He took it on rallies and a bunch of drives and stuff, and he said the car just it was bulletproof. It ran perfect, no issues at all. So he enjoyed it for quite some time, and then when it came time to trade it in, I guess he had a friend of his that owned an automotive repair facility, and he basically worked on domestic. So somehow they came to some kind of agreement where that guy was going to, and there's Blaze right there, my doggy. Where he was going to replace the AC compressor. So basically, the previous owner left the car with him, and then he proceeded to replace the compressor, and he had it done within a couple hours, from my understanding. So the previous owner was pretty shocked at how fast he had it done. Needless to say, he picked the car up, and within the second day, the engine blew up. So I don't know exactly what happened. That's I'm sure he knows all the info, and I'm not going to go into detail on that, but definitely blew up after the AC compressor was replaced. So basically, let me get on here and show you, and I'll show you what that oil pump slash water pump unit looks like. So I don't know if that guy took that out and maybe something happened when he put it back in, or something else failed, but the engine did blow up right after it was replaced. So let me get under here, and I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Okay, so we're under the car right now, and this is what I see under here. Basically, this is what it is. And the compressor is right above here. Okay, this is that oil pump I was telling you about. Oil pump right here, and then your water pumps right here. It's like one unit. You can just pull this whole thing down, and then once you remove this, and it's not that bad to remove this. It's not that hard. It's you got a couple oil lines here. You've got a couple little brackets. I think there's like two of them, and then you got these fasteners all right here. And basically, once you disconnect the hoses for the coolant, this just drops right down, and then your compressor's right there. You can see it's just right above here, and then you have this area to try and get it out right here. It's pretty tight. On the video I'm looking at right now, it looks like there's a lot of room, but so what people are saying on the forum is they've got it out. It was a pain in the butt, but they was able to get it out. So I don't know if that was an LP car like this one here, or if it was a pre-LP. Okay, So I have no idea. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to take these panels out, remove these panels here. I'll drop probably this oil line here, and maybe that one too, but I'll start off with this one here. And there's going to be 3 bolts right here. Let me see if I can show you. There's 1, 2, and I think there's one in the back here. So yeah, how am I supposed to get that one out back there? So there's one back there you have to get out, and then this thing is this compressor is different than what I'm used to working on with other vehicles. This one's a direct drive unit. So let me see if I can focus in here. There's a drive shaft, and there it is. If you can see that right there, and that drives the compressor. So it's direct drive. So it's turning the whole time. There's no clutch in there. So even if it's cold outside, you know, and you have the heater on, that thing's still turning, you know. So maybe that's why they wear out and they fail so often. Okay. But yeah, and then the oil, the lines for the Freon are up in there, you know, and it's hard to access the. Each line has a bolt that has to be removed, but my goodness, it's so tight in there. I don't know how you're gonna get that. I don't know. So people said they got it out, so I'm gonna try it. We'll see if we can make some room in there and try to get it out. But if not, then what I might end up doing, I really don't want to take the engine out. I mean, if I have to, I will. But probably what the next thing I'll do is just remove this oil pump / water pump unit here, pull this down, and then the compressor will be right there. So if I have to, I'll probably do that. And but hopefully not. So let me show you this video real quick, and I'll show you the noise that I was hearing when I was driving the car. Okay, so I'm back, and hopefully in that video that I took of the car running, you could hear that compressor. And if you notice too that when I had the microphone close to that area where the compressor was, it picked it up pretty good. And then when I moved the camera like away from their area, you know, you don't even really hear it. But as soon as I come right near the compressor again, boom, the noise is right there. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do, we'll start off, like I said earlier, I'll probably start with these panels right here. So let me get this panel out right here, and then I might even take that one out too, just to see what's going on under there. So let me go ahead and take this panel out here, and basically it's just these type of fasteners right there. I don't know what size that is. I'll have to look it up. But let me go ahead and pull these fasteners out. It looks like it's just a bunch of these that go all the way around here. Nothing crazy. There's a bunch of them here. Okay. So let me get under here. Let me pull these fasteners out and see if I can get this panel dropped, and I'll show you what I got. All right. So we have the under panels removed, and of course they're filthy, right? Full of rocks and all kinds of debris and stuff. So when you take these down, just be careful. Don't have your mouth open. So you get full of rocks. So this one over there, that's the one towards the front of the engine, and then this is the one that goes in the back right here. So that panel has 26 fasteners. It's going to be a T30, and then this one has 16 fasteners in it. Okay. Just take your time, and there's a couple times where I thought I could remove it and I forgot, you know. You might miss one or something like that. So don't go jerking on it. Just try to pull it. It'll come right out really easy. But there's some here on the sides and like some over here. So just take your time and just feel around. They're really easy. You can see all of them. Really easy to get to. Nothing. There's not rocket science behind that. Okay. So let me show you what we got here. So this is it. It's all nice and open now. So, and I did see a couple issues over here. Kind of was looking real quick. Like this line here, there's a bolt missing there. And then like this hose here, I don't like how it's these two pieces of aluminum here kind of rubbing. This hose should be in here, but it's not. Maybe I'll pull that down and put a fastener around that to hold it in there. Maybe a zip tie or something. And then another thing I noticed too is right here, this fitting right here. So, I'm thinking turbo. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know what's up with that. I think maybe when they put the engine in, like I said, I don't know if this car was ever turbocharged. I have no idea. So this car did come from Dallas Performance. They're the ones that actually put the engine in. They put a new, I think they put a new short block in it. I talked to Taylor himself, so I think it was a new short block. And the short block, it looks like brand new. So I don't know if these pieces are from another engine or something. They could be. They could be from the original engine. I don't know. But that looks like a fitting for maybe a return line or something for a turbo. I don't know. But I have no idea, but that's not supposed to be there. So it's not a big deal. And I think that's it. So do we have more room? I don't know. Let me see if I can get this light to turn on this camera. All right, so we got the light on now here. But there's a little more room, but is it still tight? Yeah, I think that I think this line's got to come all the way out. I think you got to undo this here, and it snakes around and comes over to here. And there's two fasteners here. I think once you take that out, I'm sure oil's gonna come pouring out, but I think if you pull that out of here, then you can get to there's a bolt back here that holds the back of the compressor on. I don't know, but I think it would be easier if I take that line out, but I'll see if I can figure it out. And this is definitely going to have to come off there. I've had that off before. Actually, this was leaking when I got the car. This was leaking. And then what I found out was somebody stripped out one of the bolts over here. And then what they did is they tried to put a longer one in there to grab, but it didn't grab. So I had to, I took it out, retapped it, and put a new fastener in there and put a new O-ring with some O-ring seal on it, and it hasn't leaked since, so it works good. You know, I've drove it thousands and thousands of miles, and it's not leaked one bit, so that turned out pretty good. But it did have a leak in it before. So that line's got to come off. So yeah, it's gonna be tight. And then these lines up here, yeah, it's gonna be. One of the fasteners is under this hose here. That hose there, it's under there. So I don't know if I can get that hose out of the way to get to it, but we'll see. But I did get the new compressor. It actually just came in, so I opened the box up. Let me take you over there and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so this is the new compressor. It's brand new. But you can see this is the one line right here that's under that hose. So you have to move that little short hose to get to this, or either move it to the side, but it looks pretty short, so I don't know how much it'll move. Then get to this one, and then this one's behind there. So these are the two I got to deal with here, and then the 3 bolts. There's one. These 2 are really easy to get to. This one's going to be a little tricky. And then here's that direct drive unit right here. Um, I was reading. They said there's some kind of safety feature in here. I mean, I don't know. Somebody was saying something on online that in case this, because you got to think if this compressor ever locked up, this is direct drive, so something's got to give. So they said there's a breakaway somewhere. I don't know if it's in the drive shaft assembly. This is, I don't know if that's like rubber right there. So I think something breaks away in here somewhere. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what they were saying. Something, which makes sense though. This locks up. You don't want that shaft to be something's going to break. So we'll have to take a look at it and see what's. So this is basically what it is. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna get when I get the other compressor out, we'll tear it down and we'll see if we can figure out what happened to it, why it failed. So I don't know if you ever seen inside of a compressor before. I'm sure this one's probably the same way, but they got like little pistons in there, like a little, looks like a little mini engine or something in there. So yeah, we'll take it apart. But let me see. I don't know what we're gonna do now. I guess let me go look some more and see if we can get some of these fasteners out, and I'll come back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and remove this oil line right here because it's running along our back and it's covering up that bolt on the back of the compressor. So what I did was I used a T30, a little quarter-inch extension and a ratchet just to come out here, and then just broke that loose. That was pretty easy. Then on the line over here, you have two fasteners there. So I just used this little wrench here, T30 on it, and was able to get on there and perfectly enough room to break that loose. So that's loose. And this down in here. And then now I have a ratchet, quarter-inch. See, I have it coming over here, and there's a little spot through the wheel well. Well, it's right under it right here. You can see it. So I'm running it through there. There's a little spot that opens up under there. Just you can stick your hand in there and feel it, and you can see it's coming up. Let me see if we can get a better shot here. And then I run it through here, and then that extension has like a little. I'll pull it off and show you. It has like a little ball on the end, to where that little quarter-inch T30 right there can actually pivot just a hair enough to get on there nice and flush, and it broke loose. So let me see if I can pull this out real quick. And then also this line right here, you got to kind of push it up a little bit so you can have enough room to put this in there, and then you can kind of release it a little bit, and then once that goes in there. But I had to kind of push it up a little bit, get out of the way as I pushed the socket on there. Let me see if I can pull it out here. Hold on, let me pull this out and I'll show you what the tool looks like. Okay, so I pulled this ratchet and stuff out. You can see on the end it's kind of beveled there, so it lets this. Let me put this on real quick, actually, because there's some people that don't know this, so I just want to make sure. But see, you can kind of pivot it a little bit and get in there, okay? But like I said, just want to make sure everybody, because like I said, there's some people that don't really have a lot of tools, and they don't know what that is. So just to show you how I got in there. Okay, so let me go ahead and gotta be careful, I don't hit my head here. Let me go ahead and get this line out, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I have the fasteners now. So I got this. I got my oil can here to try and catch this, and we'll see. I hopefully don't pour out that in too, but let me just see what's going to happen here. We'll just see if we can pull this loose. Hopefully there's nothing else holding this. I was trying to get a video of this, but okay. I think I'm going to put the camera down. Let me put the camera down. I'll try to get it off that way. Okay, so the line is off. You can see it right here. Actually, I got kind of ahead of myself. I started draining some water out. I said, hold on a minute. I come back and show what this line looks like. So here's the line here. I got it off here. So it was on there pretty good. And the tightest part was where it was over this O-ring right here. So I was able to kind of wiggle it, get a little bit of a gap, and get a flathead in there and just pry it, okay, and pop it off. Yeah, so quite a bit of oil came out. But then what happened is I was trying to get this pipe out. I was trying to fish it out through that little area where it's at up there, and I couldn't get it out. And the reason why, there's a bracket on there. Kind of find out there was another fastener that was holding it on right here. And there's a bracket that's on that. Actually, you can see part of it right there. There's a flange of it that's welded onto the pipe. So it's keeping it from going through where I can fish it out and maybe have more room. So basically what I had to do was I decided I'm just going to go ahead and take this part of the cooling system off, this flange here. It looks like it, I don't know what's inside of here, but there's a couple hoses hooked to it. So I'm draining it now. I just took these fasteners loose over here. There's some kind of, maybe like a drain here or something, but it's plastic. And I didn't want to mess with that. It looks like it's got a couple slots in it here, but I don't know what that is. So it's, if you stick a screwdriver or something, turn it. I have no idea. I didn't want to break it off or anything, so I decided to just take these fasteners off here and then just took a rubber mallet, kind of tapped it, and then I got some fluid to come out. So I'll let it drain until it stops. I mean, I started to pull this away and it was just gushing out. I didn't want to make a mess, so I'll just let it drain out there. And once it's done draining, then what I'll do is I'll pop some of this hose here. Maybe I might be able to just swing it around. We'll see, and just tuck it over here somewhere. But let's see. I'll come back when it gets done draining. It's probably going to be quite a while, but as soon as it gets done, I'll come on back. All right, so we have the hard pipe. I finally got that out, and let me show you over here real quick. Yeah, remember I said there was a bracket here? I mean, not a bracket. Yeah, there was a bracket on the hard pipe, and basically there was a bolt that was holding it. And let me show you real quick. This is M10. It's like a 12 point, I think, socket. So you're going to need this to get that bolt out, okay? And then once you get that out, and then what you have to do is you got to remove this. I kind of thought it was a thermostat housing, but I wasn't quite sure. But it is a thermostat housing. And see, there's a thermostat right there. So basically what it is, there's a hose on here. Just pulled the clamp off. I used, it's easier if you have a pair of pliers like this. Long ones. And it's easier to reach the clamp with this right here. And it worked perfect. Just slid the clamp up on the hose and pulled the hose off. And then what I used is I took a screwdriver from this side. I kind of used this little flange right here as a pivot point, and then just popped the hose off, okay? I took these 4 fasteners off here. I left this one on here, just loosen it up to where I can pivot this, because I just didn't want it coming off and it started making a mess, so I just left that. There's an O-ring that's up here, if you can see it there. So basically I just pivoted the housing. It was loose, just pivot it and let air get in one side, and then just let it drip for like, maybe 15 minutes or something like that. So yeah, I did that. And then basically just left this hose on and just swung it around here and just tied it up on the bottom of the engine. Okay, so now it's out of the way. And I have plenty of room in here now. Look at this. So I already started loosening this bolt up here. I went ahead and broke this line loose over here. So now it's kind of like a hose. It doesn't move a lot, but it does kind of get out of the way a little bit. And then this one's flexible too right here. So you got a little bit of movement. So we'll try and get the compressor out there. If these are in the way, I don't want to, you got to be careful. Don't scratch this surface up right here, because there's an O-ring that's right there. If you nick this, then you're in trouble, okay? So there's an O-ring right there, okay? So yeah, let me, and the drive shaft is still hooked on there. So usually you'll have to, like, I don't know, you could try to take that shaft off, but it's hard getting wrenches up in there to move it. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take these 3 fasteners that hold the compressor on, and to where I can move the compressor, and then maybe I get enough room I can get some wrenches on there, or if I have to, there's 6 fasteners that hold that flange on that bolts to the shaft, and maybe I can take those off. Just I can get the shaft out of the engine, and then I can spin it over and then take those out individually without having to bump the engine over. Okay. So let me go ahead and let me do all that, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I decided to go ahead and take the oil pump out. I think it's going to be easier. It's just too tight. It's just too much. I think it's way more work just to do it that way. And so I just take the oil pump out. It's really easy. It's almost out now. So basically, I just took all these fasteners out here on all these runners here. There's a mount. There's a bolt here for a mount. It's right there. That's already loose. Get ready to take that out. And then you have another bolt right there. And then there's a shaft that runs here from the engine to the pump that turns the pump. So let me go ahead and remove these. There was a hose that's right here too, a water line for the water pump. I went ahead and took that off. Okay. So yeah, let me take this clamp off here for if I can get, well, actually I'll leave it on because it's staying on there. Okay. So yeah, just took that line off, and that should be it. And it should, okay, here's a couple more right here. Let me see. No, that's not it. Okay, so that's it. So let me go ahead and take these 2 bolts out here, and I think it should drop and slide. So let me try to get it out, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I got all the fasteners out, and it's water and oil is pouring out, so letting that run out. Just want to show you real quick. So this is a water line here. I guess yeah, I can see right here because it's going here to the pump. I don't know if any others are water. I think this is the only one water right here because this one had a bunch of water coming out. I just thought y'all might want to this stopped now. I tried to catch it, but there's oil here, so I'm trying to finish letting this drip. And but all the fasteners out. It's loose now. And then there's that shaft is pretty much the only thing that's holding it up. So as soon as this stops dripping, I'll go ahead and slide it out. All right, it's out. The oil pump is out. Yeah, here's what we got. Bailey, it was a mess. Oh my goodness. You had to mop the floor, so it was a mess. But it's clean now. So yeah, I know you'll see one missing. One of these little seals slash screen there fell out. But I have it over here. I'll pull these out and I'll inspect them, and might just replace all these seals and everything. Yeah, so these are there's a water port over here too. Make sure that seal's good on there's a tube, plastic tube that runs through here. There's the drive shaft. This turns the oil pump. Okay, it's inside that tube there. Yeah, it wasn't too. Actually, I wish I'd have done this first, taking this oil pump off, because it would have saved me a lot of time. Just trying to fish it out through this little area. I think this is the best way, hands down. I mean, I know a lot of people are scared to mess with this type of deal. The oil supply and everything. I know it gets kind of scary, but if you've done stuff like this before with modern cars and stuff, you can do this right here. It's not that bad. Actually, I thought it was pretty easy. So, but I know some people are intimidated by it. Because if you make a mistake, you're gonna lose an engine putting it back in. So yeah, this is loose right here. Just that drive shaft here. So now I got plenty of room to get wrenches in here to break this shaft loose here. This just threads in, so I can take that loose here. And if for some reason I can't get it off, I can access all these Allen bolts now. And that's it. Take the lines off. Then we're good to go there. So plenty of room. Now let me show you the pump. It's over here. And this is what it looks like here. So here's that tube. This is for the coolant. This is coolant. I think this one's just coolant. This one's oil here. And then these are oil here. So yeah, and there's the shaft where it goes in the back side of the pump here. Yeah, here's one of the brackets that holds the pump up. This is the other bracket. So basically, besides the hoses here, is just you got the hoses, and then you have this bolt here, and then these fasteners here to go across, and that's it. And the whole thing drops out. Okay, Yeah, it was pretty easy. Like I said, it looks very intimidating when you're taking it out and just all kinds of fluids are running out everywhere. My wife was actually in there. She had to she had to bring me some rags and stuff. She brought me some old towels and stuff we had. So yeah, that's it right there. So yeah, I wish I would have done this the first time, and it would have saved me a lot of time right now. So basically, what I'm going to do now is yeah, you see here, yeah, here's the water pump inlets and stuff. Okay. All right, so yeah, that's it right there. So we're gonna call it a night, and then we'll let the rest of this oil run out of the engine over here and drip. That way, I'll come in tomorrow, and then we'll go ahead and get the compressor out. It's gonna be really easy now. I got plenty of access to it, and then yeah, we'll get that out, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll come back tomorrow. Okay, guys. All right, so it's the next day, and I've already tried to get started on this thing. So yeah, pretty much most of the oil is already dripped out. And let me show you what I got here. So what I'm trying to do now is get um, the rest of this compressor out here. So basically, what I have to do is try to get this shaft to turn out of here. Man, it is. I tried with all my might. I can't get it. I don't want to break anything. So what I did was I just took the compressor here, have all the fasteners out. The lines are still hooked up though. Just kind of slid it back a little bit and pulled the shaft. If you could see it right back there, I pulled the shaft out of that boot right there. And so what I'm going to do now is what I did was I took some of the. Let me put this back here. I've got some of the bolts out. I think there's like 6 of them here. These M5 fasteners here. So I took some out the other side, and then I rotated it since the shaft's out. And then I'm going to take these last 2 out, and then the compressor. Besides taking the 2 lines off, it'll be ready to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these fasteners here, and then take these lines, remove these lines, and pull this compressor out. And I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so here's what it looks like with the AC compressor out. This is the bracket where the compressor bolts in at right there. Over here, that's where the back bolt of the compressor bolts into. And let me see here. Over there, like I showed you earlier, there's that rubber boot. That's where the shaft comes out and goes to the compressor, which turns it. Okay. Let's see, we got our AC lines. I got them all covered up now. Heat shield for the exhaust, for the exhaust manifolds. And if you notice here, see the block, how clean it is. This is the new short block, Taylor. This was right before he passed, Taylor of Dallas Performance, when I talked to him. Yeah, I was very sad what happened to him. God, he was like the nicest guy too. But anyway, Taylor told me that this block only had 3,000 miles on it, and yeah, they put it into the short block. I think he said it was out of a LP, not LP, but a Huracan. Yeah, it was out of a Huracan, so I don't know what year or whatever it was, but yeah, so very little miles. And these pieces here, I don't know if these are the heads off the other engine or not. I have no idea, but I'm sure they had tons of parts there laying around, so they just kind of built an engine out of the parts they had. But this thing runs fantastic. It runs great. Very, very strong engine. So anyway, yeah. So let me get the compressor. What we need to do now is figure out, we got to get that thing, put some oil in it and stuff, so we can get it prepped and get it ready to go and put it back in. So let's head over to the compressor now. All right, so here's the old compressor here. Yeah, so I checked it out, and it looks the same as this one here. There's a couple small little differences, but yeah, I'm sure it's a different manufacturer. But it's all the mounting points are the same looks. The only thing that's different looks really like is this bracket's on here. So I'll probably just take this bracket off because it might hit on the heat shield of the exhaust, so I'll just take it off just in case. But other than that, it looks the same. Even the plugs. I checked the. That's one thing you want to do because I've had this happen on the other vehicles too. Is the plugs might look the same, right? Which these look the same, but the wiring could be backwards because I've had that happen before too. It'll drive you nuts trying to figure it out. So the wiring's the same, the colors are the same, whether as the old compressor. It matches the pins on there. So make sure you check that too if you get an aftermarket compressor. Yeah, so you see how this one spins nice and smooth. But let me see if we can turn this without falling over here. This one, see it? You can probably hear it. Yeah, it's shot. It's real notchy. So yeah, this was definitely the problem. This is what I was hearing under there. So I don't know if a bearing went out or something. I don't know. We're gonna tear this down. So I'll probably tear this down after we get the car finished up, and then we'll come back and then we'll look at this right here. So yeah, I got all the parts over here. You see, I tag and bag everything. I'm getting ready to tag all these here. So yeah, make sure you do that, and it'll keep everything organized, and that way it'll be easier putting it back together. It takes a little bit more time, but it'll go back together a lot faster. Okay, so yeah, so the next thing we're gonna do now is we have to remove the AC dryer. So let me go ahead and get over to the back of the car, and I'll show you what's going on over there.